Welcome to another episode of the No Ceilings Podcast. I am Tyler Metcalf, joined as always by Tyler Rucker. Rucker, how are we doing?
Fantastic. What an intro by Metcalf. You brought some heat with that. We must be close to draft day, baby. I'm doing great. I've got an adrenaline that is unmatched by mortals around the world. I'm so pumped, Metcalf. How are you doing?
Fantastic. And it's Monday of draft week. You know, we're like a kid gearing up for Christmas morning. What a time to be alive. Smoke screens galore. We got blockbuster trades. The NBA Finals is over in a disappointing fashion, but congrats to the OKC Thunder. But man, heartbreaking for Indiana. And we needed to squeeze one more show in. So instead of waiting until the end of the week when we usually pod, like, screw it. We're going to go late night on a Monday. Why not? What a better way to start out the week?
Chaos. We love chaos. Congratulations to Thunder fans for winning a finals with an asterisk next to it. It's going to be great.
No asterisk. No. Never an asterisk next to
on a serious note, they also just were a wagon the whole year, so I can't really do that. Yeah. On a serious note, for shout out to
the MVP, the historical net rating, historical defense, 65 win, whatever.
I was crushed watching that game because having a little one, you also have to pick your battles. So I'm like, hey, I'll watch the game on mute and we'll play like music or something because no one wants to listen to the NBA game apparently. So I also am just watching and I look up and I just see like Halliburton screaming and I was like, game's over. Just like, oh no.
As he's falling, he did that classic look back because everyone always says it feels like someone kicked you. And it's like, as he's going down, he just realizes it. And then obviously the pain, but it's like, God. And to like have survived game 6 without issue. And then you get extra days. And then it's like, all right, cool. Now I'm off to a 3 for 4 shooting start. Like, let's go. Fuck.
That's literally the exact same thought process because I was like, oh man, like can he just get through one more game and avoid this terrible thing that's just lurking in the background? I also, as a Celtics fan, I was like, oh yeah, I just saw this happen a couple months ago
and
started crying.
Fans saw it a couple weeks before that, and it's like, oh my god,
oh, it's terrible.
Take care of your calves and Achilles, kids.
But
I just those two teams, I think, because we are draft focused. It is draft week, and I just think it's a really cool example of team building, internal development, and finding your value where there allegedly isn't any. And like when you look at the top picks, sure there are a handful of lottery guys, but Chet Holmgren's like the only top 5 pick on these teams, I believe. SGA was later lottery. Halliburton was later lottery. He shouldn't have been, but he was. Siakam was later, and Andrew Nembhard late first. Neesmith later. Is like, all right, cool. Like, no matter where you are in the draft, if your scouting department does its job, if your GMs and decision makers do their job, there's talent to be found anywhere, and not just talent that lets you tread water throughout the regular season, but talent that can help carry you to the finals.
It's everywhere, and you got to get creative. You have to be patient as a fan base. I think you like fans, we get so eager because we're like, come on, get good. It's like, man, it takes, if you get a good front office and they keep chipping away, everything kind of lines up and falls into place and it becomes beautiful. Like the Thunder, Presti were just so patient, and you got to have good ownership and everything. But I think it's also like you see a lot of guys that were higher picks, second teams. Like it's also a front office that's willing to be like, might not have worked there, but we'll take him. Like we have an idea for him. Aaron Neesmith, TJ McConnell, also just a guy where it's like, you got to get creative. You have to have depth. I think the biggest thing for me, Metcalf, and I don't know if you feel the same, is now, if I was a GM, I think you can make an argument like, screw, like, we have a logjam. We need depth everywhere. You've got to have depth and different looks to give your opponent. And hey, we have our offensive lineup. We have our defensive lineup. We have lockdown guys. Like I back in the day when I was a psychopath, but I still am. But I was looking at like, what's something similar with every team that's won it? And it feels like they always have, like, you can either bring out a shooter to get hot, you can bring out a lockdown defender. You have to have these specific tools in the shed that you can be like, hey, when in doubt, this one's going to be perfect for this team we're playing against. So I think you have to have flexibility and versatility for a coaching staff to get creative. And I think that lives through the draft. Like, hey, you might not need this guy, but it's just a depth piece. For one guy goes down, he jumps in. I just think you have to continue to build depth and not just rely on 5 guys, because we see one guy gets down, you have to say next man up. And the playoffs are about staying as healthy as possible, but now you need to have depth.
And it's depth that's inexpensive. And the easiest way to find that is through the draft. So it's like, oh man, this guy's already 22. That sucks. But it's like, okay, but if I'm a playoff team, like I'm sprinting to the podium for those guys because I know they're going to be able to give us minutes right away. And now instead of a 7-man rotation, we're thinking about an 8. And that just changes everything because, like you said, one guy goes down, season's over. But we got busy schedule today, so enough finals talk. It's in the past. We're over it. We're looking to the future. But before we do, a little bit of housekeeping. Maxwell and Steven did a really fun episode with kind of highlighting their guys on the pod feed. Go check that out. Steven also had a interview with Chaz Lanier, who is apparently having a heck of a pre-draft process. That's up on YouTube and the podcast feed as well. Today, Maxwell wrote about Jace Richardson, and we had our final what we would do mock draft go up on the site. Go check that out. That is purely what we would do if we were picking 4 of those teams in those spots. Tuesday morning, our final big board will go up, and then Wednesday morning, we will have our final what prediction mock. That's going to be a little more intel based and what we think the teams will do on draft night. And then draft night, we're going live 7:30 Eastern, half hour before the draft starts. We'll be live on YouTube. Make sure to subscribe, click that like button, notifications, all that good stuff. So you don't miss it. We'll be live both nights.
We have more intel this year than we've ever had. So I'm very, very excited about the Wednesday mock. Feel really good about it. I think I might go live Wednesday morning. I think I'm going to drag Metcalf to join me.
Fine.
I'm going to be too excited. And this is the first time I've been like, I'm usually excited these days. And I'm either texting everyone I know to be like, hey, any last minute stuff? Or I'd rather just talk to the sickos out there. And this year I was like, you know what? I want to talk to the sickos. Let's have some fun on the line. Regulator said in the comments, so you're saying you were smarter this year. I don't know if I would go that far. I haven't slept as much this year, so I might not be as smart. Metcalf, I'm ready to go whenever you want. Just push any button. Shove me in a direction.
Well, we'll be doing some sort of live Q&A Wednesday morning, whether it's on Twitter or YouTube or something. Keep an eye out for it. But for now, let's just dive in. Steven and Maxwell did their version of our guys. We're jealous, so we wanted to do it too. And we all have different answers to this. So, Rucker, when you look at this draft, I don't want to talk about just the top guys. Like,
no, it's
we all love Cooper Flagg. Cooper Flagg's everyone's. Dylan Harper, everyone loves Dylan Harper. The other guys have a little bit of varying opinions, but they're by consensus. The guys at the top are there for a reason. When you think of your guy, just give me a name.
Nick Clifford.
Yeah.
No, let's talk about this. So me and you were flirting with this idea, and then I saw Maxwell and Stevie do it, and I was like, hell yeah, this is the time to do it. Because I feel like me and you are pretty honest with the fans. Because we just don't care if we're wrong. We're like, well, let's learn from it.
Happy to be. Exactly.
And I fascinate more about my misses than my hits. So I was talking to you, and I'm going to put a little track record online tomorrow and probably get massacred for it, but I've got screenshots, so it's great. And every year I pick 2 guys personally. Now we can pick more in this episode, but every year for myself, for my evaluation, I pick 2 guys that I'm like, no matter where they get drafted, I feel good about them figuring it out. I feel good that this is you don't have to worry about fit. He's just going to figure it out. He's going to be good. So I feel like I do 2 every year. And one of my guys this year is Nick Clifford. So what about you? Is there one guy that you're just like, if you're in a draft room, this is my favorite exercise. You're in a draft room and you have to literally pound the table for a guy. You're just fighting and saying, this guy's going to be good. I know it. Like, is there one guy this year, no matter what? But when I do my exercise, I say you can't pick a guy that's going 1 or 2. Like, you can't be that. That's cheating. You got to get creative. Jobs on the line.
Ooh.
As Gregory says in the legacy on the line. No, but seriously, you have to feel like no matter what, I'm going to bat for this guy.
I would be shocked if Kaspars Jakushonis is not just a good basketball player. Is he going to be a star? Maybe not, but I think he's going to play a decade. And I think he's one of those guys where you talked about, when you kind of laid out the criteria for your guys, and it's wherever they go, I think they can succeed. There are a lot of guys that I would 100% swing for, but if they go to the wrong place, and historically, when I look back at some of my rankings, it's like, oh man, I love that dude, but he did not go to the wrong spot.
No, and it's a big thing about when you're saying, like, I take this serious every year, because I do say it's like you have to feel no matter what. If on draft night they land in the bad spot, and I'm not saying like, hey, I'm not saying like I love Nick Clifford, he's going to be a 10-time All-Star. I'm not saying that. I'm saying I feel great that they're going to play for a long time. No matter where they go, we're going to look back and be like, Nick Clifford was a great pick. It was a really good pick. It doesn't have to be like he was a Hall of Famer. I'm just saying I feel the best that Nick Clifford's going to play for a long time. Yeah, he's the safest guy to me. I would be arguing with someone like, we need to get Nick Clifford. We need to find a way.
So the riskiest guy for me, who's like, I'm swinging. I love him. I'm fighting tooth and nail. Flaws be damned. Jeremiah Fears. But again, if he goes to the wrong spot, it could be a disaster. I love him. I think he is so good. I think he is probably, I think he's the most creative playmaker, most creative on-ball creator, physical, gets downhill, draws a ton of fouls, ton of scoring versatility. I buy the shot long term. But man, if he doesn't improve defensively at all, unplayable. If the shot doesn't come around, it's going to look ugly. But just something is like, I can't say no.
I mean, we've gotten in fights in our No Ceilings war room, me and you, about Fears. So Fears would be up there of, yeah, I'd go to bat for him. He's not my guy, but he was an honorable mention. I love Fears, but I also get, if my job was on the line, I don't know if I'd be going to bat for Fears. Because it can miss. It can miss pretty quick.
When you said your job's on the line, I'm like, oh, okay, time to pivot.
Yeah, but I mean, a guy. It's just in your heart. I trust
Kaspars because he's way more malleable. He can play on or off ball. He has that positional size. I would say same kind of tier of playmaker. Incredibly crafty getting downhill. I have them back to back, but I think Fears has more upside. The feasibility of him hitting that compared to Kaspars is a different story. I buy it, but he is definitely not without risk.
Well, like I'm gonna workshop a new name, but like for my guys, I call it my drafts guys. I don't just go film. I'm like, hey, if I was taking this dead serious as an evaluation, I'm in an NBA war room. I'm arguing with someone, a pre-draft meeting. I'm arguing with scouts of like, hey, this is my guy. This is like, I'd be like, the intel's got to check out. I got to feel good. If it doesn't work in the first spot, he's going to keep battling to figure it out in the second spot. So like, I'm going into character, work ethic, intel, measurables. Does he have good size? Like, it's just at the end of the day, who do I feel the best about? And it's Nick Clifford for me. And I love, for the same reason I just said, your answer for Kaspars is perfect because I think he checks that box too.
Who else you got?
You're going to like this one. I promise you're going to like this one. Because I almost chose him over Nick. It's Carter Bryant.
Yeah. He would be.
I'm in. I'm all in.
On lottery all year.
I think I'd throw some punches in a war room. If someone was like, hey, he's no good, I'd be like the guy jumping across the table. it's for the same reasons as Meek. I'm buying the work ethic. I'm buying he's gonna.
Yeah.
From what I've heard this year, I'm even more of a buyer of how he figured it out. I love it. So, give me your other one.
Oh boy.
So let's go 2-2 that we feel good about, and then we can be like, hey, no judgment.
So like if we're doing like safe, like yeah, I feel really good at like a minimum. He's going to be a rotation guy for a really long time. It was Kaspers and Carter.
Okay, so we like the Carter. The Carter album's one of our favorites. Okay,
I'll pivot off of Carter and just to provide a different name. A little bit of risk, but I think the variance in play styles that he showed over the last 2 years, I'm in. Danny Wolf.
The whole town knows, Frank.
Well, you asked.
No, but that see, like adaptability, I like that a lot. Okay, so
high feel, high ball skills.
So are we getting to the next tier of?
Yeah.
Okay. So now it's like, hey, we picked 2 each.
Give me the criteria for this tier. Are we thinking?
I think this tier is. No, I think this tier you feel pretty good. It's a little fit. No, maybe not a fit dependent. Oh, I know the draft is all about fit, but the first tier, my guy is like, hey, I think he's going to work anywhere. This one, what do you think? We like him, but we just can't fall in love. Love him, but questions.
Yeah.
He's an honorable mention. He's an honorable mention.
Like the first tier, and like the importance of fit was like 15%, and this one's up to like 30 to 40.
Yeah. Okay, so yours is Danny Wolf. Okay.
No, that was for the first one.
Oh, okay.
I think Danny Wolf works just about anywhere.
I'm gonna say this is you're absolutely in love, but there's like one thing that just keeps you up at night that you're like, maybe it's like, oh, the defense, or maybe it's like, oh, the fit. He's got to go to the right team. What if he goes to a bad team? What if he goes to Chicago?
Ouch.
I'm sorry, Bulls fans. I love you. He was really close to my top 2, but Thomas Sorber is one of my guys. I love him. He's not in my top 2, but Thomas Sorber is my guy. I think I watch how he plays, how physical he is, how he seals people. He is just a bully. He is someone that understands his size and strength, which I love. I like when big guys play like they're big. That's great. When big guys play small, it really hurts to watch. Like him in OKC.
I like him in Minnesota.
I like him in Minnesota. Really nervous he goes to Phoenix and he's playing right across the street.
I theoretically like him in Phoenix, but I'm not sure.
I love him in the idea.
I'm not sure I like anyone in Phoenix right now.
A lot of people feel the same way. What do you think? Well, what else do you got?
I mean, for kind of the inverse of that, you said you like big guys who play big. I also kind of like small guys who play big, and I've run the emotional gamut with this guy all year. Colin Murray-Boyles. I know there are others in the space who are even higher on him than I am, but it's just weird enough that it's going to work, and almost anywhere I think it's going to work. Now there's that 30 to 40%, of teams where it's like, oh, this could get rough a little quickly. And I think he's kind of one of these guys where he has to be used really specifically and really smartly. But the feel, the physical tools, the IQ, the passing, the rebounding, the defensive versatility, it's like this guy's just going to be good for a really long time. To what level does the shot come around? I don't know. But I think the vast majority of places he goes, he's going to turn into a good player.
I like him. I think he's
like I even like him on the Suns. Shout out Jack in the chat. And like him and Ryan Dunn on defense.
Yeah. I've had some arguments today with Suns fans because I someone asked me, hey, who do you like for the Suns at 10? And I was like, I like Murray Boyles. I like Carter Bryant, and every Suns fan was like, "How is Ryan Dunn, Colin Murray Boyles going to play together?" And I was like, "Tell me who the roster is first."
How are Devin Booker, Bradley Beal, and Jalen Green going to play together?
You have to have basketball players on the roster.
You need a point guard. Here's Colin. There we go.
I can't. If you ask Murray Boyles not to shoot threes, you're going to love him. No, I'm being serious, but like, I also think there's times where we fascinate too much about one area when we don't look at how awesome he is in a lot of areas that really matter.
It's the classic being too honed in on what a player can't do instead of what they can do.
Speak. So I still like Murray Boyles. I think 10 was really interesting. I had heard he was going to Houston.
Yep.
That was what I heard. And I'm really upset because FanDuel was going to get a lot of my money, and he was 8-1 to go there. So, no, but now it gets interesting because I don't know what Phoenix does there. He could be a name into conversation. Carter Bryant's also a popular name. I don't know if the Suns know what they want to do. And I mean that with all respect. Like, you just got the pick, so now it's get to work, figure it out.
Who else you got?
Man, your Kasparis would have been in my mix. I feel cheating getting VJ and Trey involved in this. I really feel like that's kind of cheating, right? We're trying to get creative.
I don't know. I've had Trey at 3 for 5 months now.
I've got Trey at 4.
I'm very confident that he's going to be an awesome player almost anywhere he goes. There are definitely places where it's like if a team gives him the reins and he is clearly the best guy out the gate, and they're like, all right, you're our primary decision maker. Let's try and force you into being a point guard. I think it's going to be a disaster because he's not that. He's an awesome shooting guard, an off-ball creator, off-ball decision maker. Trey. If it teams like, hey, we're going to make you play point guard like the Suns tried to make Devin Booker early in his career. Now, long-term, that ended up being really good for Devin. Developed a lot of passing and tertiary skills, but he's still a shooting guard. I worry about what the results of that type of path for Trey right out the gate would be.
I wrote my article on Trey. I wanted to go back as far as possible to kind of get like a pure evaluation of him. Metcalf, I forgot how awesome he was at FIBA. Was he 2 years younger?
I think just a year.
Was
that U18?
It was U19.
It's U19, so he would have been 17.
He was 17.
Yeah.
I watched one of their games. They're playing France. He takes a guy off the dribble and hits a step back elbow jumper. Guess who that guy was?
Playing France. Was that Richeche?
Zachary Richeche.
Yeah. So Sar was on that team. I think Penda and Zachary Perrin were on that team.
And USA had no business in that game. Their roster was so bad that it was Dylan Harper and Trey Johnson and Asa were the best players on the team.
Yeah,
and they were like 2 or a year older. It was crazy. So
no, I was reading my recap of that tournament the other day over at NoCeilingsNBA.com. It's still free. Go check it out. And it was like, I love Trey and Asa back then too. So it's like, funny how time is a flat circle and nothing changes.
Trey looked great in those games because they were so screwed at point guard that they had to have him play the point, and his playmaking was really popping. And I know it was just a nice refresher because I remembered it. I was like, I remember this from my notes that Trey's playmaking was really popping. And you could just tell it was a clear, like, not tunnel. I'm not saying tunnel vision from Texas, but you could tell like when he had talent around him and when things were spread out, it was like he's trusted.
Someone too.
Yes.
Where it's like when he's not the best guy and like the only creator, it's amazing what happens. He's a really smart passer, and we saw that all year at Texas. Like his 2.4 assists per game is not reflective of the type of connective passer and how well he uses his shooting gravity.
Well, and I talked to our boy Rich Mavs draft about Trey the other day, and he's like, look, man, I was in Dallas when Trey was playing here in high school, and he was promised every year they were going to get a point guard so that Trey could play off the ball, and then it just fell apart. And then they got Phylon at the end, but they're like, Phylon was still very raw, so Trey had to keep being a point guard. And his Link Academy stuff, there's some awesome playmaking stuff where you're just like, man, this is the same guy. So his situation is everything. I think Texas was brutal. Looking at their team numbers, I was like, I texted you at like 11 p.m. I was like, this is disgusting. This is really gross.
Yeah.
They're like 308th in the country in 3-point shooting, like, or assists per game. I was like, my goodness. So it's gross. I love Trey. Yeah. I think he's gonna be a stud.
Same. We're not being held accountable at this point, right? It's after 10 Central Time. After
we're not accountable.
Coast, like, just if we're worried about fit and stuff, and I was the Spurs, just maybe. All right.
No, stop it! Don't put that out. I realistically think
they won't. No, I'm not saying.
No, they're not going to take it. It's gonna go 1-2.
Purely like.
Oh, there's some people on the line that'll get that out there.
Like if I was in that war room, I'd be like, just what if maybe? And then once I get shot down, I'll be like, okay, all right. And then just throwing out scenarios. Just getting the brain working, spinning gears. All right. Sorry, go ahead.
I would be shocked if he gets past 5.
Yeah.
I still really would. But I will also have some more information on that probably in 24 hours. So everyone check it. I just going off of some stuff. What else? Give me one.
Let's go with our guys, just the last one or two who are really risky, but like, God, I want to take that risk. I want to take that swing. I already mentioned Fierce. He would be one for me. Who you got?
Here's my problem. Here's my big problem. I don't know if I believe these guys are risky because I think where I have them on my board is if they end up getting drafted in that range, I think it's perfect.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, man. Is this guy even risky? Cedric Coward.
No, he's not risky.
He's not risky.
He would be in the first group of like, man, I just feel good about him. Like,
well,
anywhere he goes.
Is he still an unfinished product?
Well,
is he an unproven product? He played 6 games.
Sure.
Played at Eastern Washington.
And he's always been an awesome shooter.
Awesome shooter. Okay, so you're wanting just a guy I like that's just an upside swing.
Yeah. So I mean,
okay, fine. Screw it. Baron J. Thank you.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
I'm a big fan of Baron J.
Yeah.
But I'm a big fan of Baron J in a realistic range. You're asking me to take him 9th. I'm going to be like, hey, okay, I'm not that big of a fan.
So is he really
not that big of a fan? Yeah. So exactly. So is he my guy then? So fine, I'll rip him off. Give me an example of what you're looking for. Because like I love Rasheer Fleming. I love him. Someone takes him at 12. I don't know if I love him.
I don't think that qualifies.
But if I got him at 18 or 17, I love Rasheer Fleming.
Yeah. If
this is my next level of my guys tier, it's like, well, now they're my guy if they go to the right place.
If I got Derek Queen at 18, I'd be ecstatic.
Exactly. Oh, you know what? I'll give you some sleepers here. Elijah Martin is one of my guys.
Oh yeah, I like this better. Let's go. Let's look at guys who we have like early second round that no one else is talking about. That's
Sorry, that took me a while. I'm a little excited. I haven't had coffee yet too, which is scary.
It's almost 8 p.m. for you. Don't have coffee.
We sleep in August. Well, give me one. Who do you like? Second round.
I mean, the whole town knows Frank Lamont Butler.
Yes, that's a good one.
Dude can play, and he's going to go undrafted, and he's going to be the next Scottie Pippen Jr., TJ McConnell. The dude gets to the rim whenever he wants. He's a pit bull on defense. I think the shot.
I have to give a shout out to Bo Leave and Knicks. First of all, it's 2 days before the draft, and you're going to bring up Johnny Davis rankings from 2 years ago or 3 years ago. I'm about to lose my stuff. Go ahead, Metcalf. Second round.
Oh geez. Sorry, I'm in my head now. I hate
that.
everyone. No one's good.
I did that. Could get Metcalf off the rails. It's okay.
No, but we talked about going to the right spot or not. I remember doing the stream on draft night when Johnny Davis got picked at that spot, and I was just distraught. I was like, anywhere but there.
You were crushed.
Anywhere but there. And it's like, all right, well, this is going to go really poorly. Same thing with Denny back in the day. Coincidentally, common theme between the two. But new front office, new coaching staff. Better
if
ahead.
Johnny didn't get his shoulder ruined too, we would have been okay.
But yeah, if we're talking early second round, Kobe Sanders and Lamont Butler are the two guys for me.
Kobe's a good one. Kobe Sanders is a really good one. I'm trying to give you another second rounder that I like. And I will be honest with folks, like when I get to a point where I don't really like a second rounder, I'll be like, nope, I'm out. Javon Small. Yeah. That's about it for me. Those are my second rounders, and I'm not sold on anybody else in the second round.
Yeah, it gets pretty gross. Like if we're going like real deep cuts.
Oh, I like the real deeps. Like, hey, we're a genius, but
I think a Nate Santos from Dayton is kind of intriguing. Good size and knockdown shooter. Fun combination. Bryce Williams from Nebraska, nasty shooter. Vlad Golden, skilled big.
I do like Vlad Golden a lot.
I don't know. We'll see. But
I do like Vlad Golden a lot. I like me some Amari Williams. I like me some Ryan Nembhard, folks. I like the scrappy dudes that can set the table. Now I like these guys later.
All right, Ryan Nembhard, lottery for Rucker.
Yeah, exactly. And you know what? Just one of those like, hey, if it hits, I said I like him, but if he doesn't hit, no one ever remember this. I like Curtis Jones. That's probably a two-way guy. I would swing on Curtis Jones. I like him. That's all. Victor Locken. We got a shout out in the chat. That's a good one. Zeke Mayo. I had a lot of high hopes for it. Didn't pan out to the level I wanted to. Tough. Still like him.
Dylan Cardwell is going to play for a while.
The Pistons should draft Dylan Cardwell. A team with
Lakers should at 55.
Yeah, like a bully, a team that needs a bully. He's going to be good.
Freak athlete at big. All right. Anything else, or you good?
Do you want to do the opposite of this? Guys we're scared we're wrong on?
Yeah. That was on the itinerary, but let me just
no. Just give me
your whims.
Just give me one name that you're like, hey, I'm actually a little nervous. I'm low on this. We don't have to do a whole segment of this. No, I didn't mean to be like that. I'm just having fun.
No, it's good because I'm just rearranging segments, so we're good. It's for the timestamps. People love them. They need them. They have to have them. So like these are guys that we do a redraft 5-6 years from now, and it's like most likely that we were way too high on or way too low on. For me, the obvious high one, Jeremiah Fears. A little Freudian slip there. Jeremiah Fears, a lot of ways it could go bad. I hope it goes right. But the guy that I'm easily too low on, where he could be just an absolute stud, Derek Queen.
Where do you have him?
18.
Okay.
Nothing. Cool.
Derek's one. I'm trying to. A little intel is Derek could fall. Yeah, warning everyone.
We'll get to that.
Yeah, we'll get to that. I have Derek at 15. I've had him around top 10 all year. It was tough moving him to 15. Guy I'm worried I'm too high on. Noah Essengay.
I knew that was going to be the name you threw out there.
I feel really good about my board. Noah's the one. I've had him top 10 all year.
He's your
I'm
wild
a little
card.
nervous. He's my wild card. He's my one guy that I look at and I'm saying, buddy, we're going swinging together. We're going down together. if we're gonna hit an iceberg and this ship's sinking, me and you are staying to the end because I have not moved him from my top 10. I've had him around 10 or 9 all year because I just that's my I'm a gambling man there. That's my guy. Too low on McNeely.
Ooh, okay, that's a good one too.
McNeely. I've got him at 28.
I got him at 24.
I think he's gonna land in a better spot and look like what we wanted him to be. And I'm gonna be like,
you mean when he's has a healthy ankle and not having to play point guard?
I just went back. I was looking at his stuff and I saw his splits before he got hurt, and I was like, oh man, he was cooking a little bit. He was playing good. And then I'm just wondering if he's going to land with a team that has a lot of pieces in place, and it's going to be like, McNeely, can you just play tough and hit threes? And he's going to be like, great. This is great. So I don't know.
Yeah, there are a lot of landing spots, especially like when we look in the 20s, that make a lot of sense for him.
Any other names you got? This is actually a fun one. I really do feel good about my board. I just feel.
Walter Clayton. I have him. 26,
that's a good one.
And it's not I'm really confident that he's gonna be in the league for a while, but it's just like, all right, I don't really buy the playmaking. I think the defense isn't all that great. The shot making is insane, especially when he gets on a heater. But when we look at his splits from before May, he was like a 36-ish% 3-point shooter, and then he got hot to close the year. Now, what his hot was like 47%, so it's like, holy shit, what's happening? I think he's going to be an awesome player if he goes to in like the late teens. I'm not going to be surprised by it. I'm not going to hate it. It's going to make a lot of sense. But it's just like, how early do I want to take that? So, but I think he's going to be a really good player for a long time. And just in a redraft, he's inevitably going to go way higher than where I have him.
I have him at 24. I'm worried I'm low. I think he could return top 15 value.
Oh yeah,
pretty easily. Might have a promise. I'm working on connecting it. Heard there's a team that's promising him. What else you got? Or you want to move forward? Risers, fallers, whatever. What do you want?
Let's move forward. Let's just run through some. Let's just run through some potential risers and fallers on draft night. This is a little intel based. Nothing 100%, but guys to keep an eye out. So on draft night, because it only takes one or two guys to leapfrog the quote unquote consensus rankings for guys to start tumbling. So for me, the first two potential fallers, I guess we can start out negative here. Keep that on brand. First two potential fallers, two guys we've talked about a handful of times already, Jeremiah Fears and Derek Queen, where it's like, if they're not off the board after 8, I think it could get kind of ugly for him.
Yeah, that's what I keep hearing. And the Queen stuff is the defense. People are really worried about the defense.
Really concerned.
And it's getting loud. It's getting loud around the league where people are really worried about, like, how would Queen be playing right now in the playoffs? It's with Fears and Queen, it's more of a teams really like them, but if you don't go here, you might fall. Yeah. And that's what everyone's saying is like, hey, if he doesn't go here or here, it could get ugly fast. And then those spots are teams that are like mentioning they're interested in 5 guys. So it's like, well, it could get ugly. So now what we're saying, hey, it could be a free fall is the term that I've been told, but free fall also could mean team is back behind saying we are going up to go get Derek Queen.
Mm-hmm.
It happens every year, folks. Yeah. We always get a guy that slips through the cracks. We get 2.
Jared McCain, don't connect last year. Like, it only takes a couple, and then guys start to tumble.
I saw KOC had a new mock today and literally had Kasper Slate, and he goes, look, I like Kasper. There's one guy that slips through the cracks. In this mock, Kasper slipped. We did a couple of mocks and
Where
Fears
did he
did
have
him,
him
but
going?
I think like 20.
Whew.
Yeah, so it was a hey, easy. Look how they massacred my boy. But Fears is a wild card. Fears is a wild card because he could go 5, 6, 7, 8. And if he doesn't, we could get interesting.
Exactly. And 5 through 8, I think, is prime real estate for him. I like his fit on all those teams. Utah, Washington, New Orleans, Brooklyn. They all make sense. But so do a couple other guys. And if it's a 50-50 between two guys and Fears just keeps falling or grabbing the short end of the stick, after that, if there aren't big trade ups or anything like that, it's either just gonna take a team to be like, screw it. We're taking BPA. Like, we're not in love with the board right now. This guy, we had him higher. He doesn't make sense on our team. Don't care. We're taking the talent. We're taking the upside. Otherwise, if we're looking at where he fits, where quote unquote makes sense, it could be like late teens at the earliest.
You could say the exact same thing for Queen.
Yeah.
That's why it's those two guys are the ones I'm looking at, because I was like, these two. Like, there's a lot of buzz. There's been buzz about Fears at 7. There's been buzz building right now about Queen at 7 with some Troy Weaver connections. That's my hint. So it's like, well, if one of those guys doesn't go there, and say, there's buzz about Atlanta going up from Malwatch, which I've been told has legs. So if Atlanta doesn't get up, say Brooklyn takes Malwatch, and one of Fears or Queen goes at 7. Okay, are we thinking Queen's going 9 to Toronto? I don't know if that one fits right away. Or Fears. I'm saying just hypothetical. Like, both of those guys could not be with Toronto.
Yeah.
Then at 10 with Phoenix, I like Fears there, but what if Kasparis is on the board? They could go that route too. So then now there's another team that you're moving down on.
And I think Fears is probably more of a project than what they're looking for.
Ready for. Yeah. So then you get to Portland at 11, and it's like, Queen doesn't make sense there. Neither of those guys make sense there. They probably would love Carter Bryant if he's there.
Chicago, Queen, maybe?
Chicago, Queen, maybe. Fears, why would that make sense?
No.
Then you're getting another team off. So, and we're saying easily a team could trade up and be like, we want them. We'll come back. And Chicago probably would be smart to answer the phone. But you know what I'm saying? Like, it gets ugly when you start trying to play, connect the dots here.
Yeah, and it's really tricky because we're obviously never rooting against any of these guys, but every night or every draft night, there's at least a couple where it's like they just immediately ignite the barrage of tweets on social media of just, oh my god, NBA GMs are so dumb, they don't know what they're doing, and they're going to be a couple this year. They're going to be a couple this year. That spark that. And another guy who it probably isn't much of a surprise at this point, who could spark a lot of that, is Ace Bailey.
Yeah, it's kind of weird, Metcalf. It's like I've always said to people, like, take everything with a grain of salt this time of the year. And I say, especially Monday of draft week, we're trying to get news funneling. People are holding everything in the chamber of like, let's get it out on Monday. I've been told the Ace thing has legs about like East Coast preference. Like, I've been told it's legit. But I think everyone's pointing at one team when some other people are wondering if it's a different team. So do I think every prospect wants to go to Brooklyn? Heck yes. You know why? Because they need guys to play and they have a good coaching staff. So everyone's like, yeah, let's get our guy to Brooklyn. Let's get our guy to Brooklyn. I don't know. I think Washington's becoming the swing team of this whole draft now. I think everyone thought it was going to be Charlotte. And I think it's Washington now because no one has any idea what they're up to. It's awesome.
Mm-hmm.
What would you do? What do you predict? What do you think?
Do
you like him going there? Be honest, because me and you have liked Ace. I've gone back and forth nonstop.
He's the our guys that exercise that we just did, he would be one of the guys that I love, but in a very, very specific spot. And there are
Where? I'm serious. I think
so
Washington would be one of my favorite fits.
for most of the year, I had him at 2 because I was like, oh man, if he ends up in San Antonio, that rocks. Playing off of Wemby, Fox, Castle, where he doesn't have to do anything except play, finish, and defend. That rocks. And that type of culture where it's like, hey, if you're not going to put the work in, if you're not going to be held accountable, if you're not going to take criticism, you're not going to play. And I think that would be the best for him. Philly makes some sense too, but it's like Charlotte from a basketball standpoint, I love just the idea theoretically of him, LaMelo, Brandon Miller, but then in reality, it's like, oh man, that could get really ugly, really awful, really quickly. Utah, I worry about some of the habits that could form there without that true lead initiator, and that kind of carries over into Washington, New Orleans. No, I don't think it is either.
I'm just going to quote everyone right now. I've heard emphatic, he's not going to Utah. They do not want him. So we can calm down that was.
Yes, but
emphatic ones. I hope I'm wrong, but it was okay. Guess I'll stop the Utah mocks.
But it's like Utah, don't love him there. Washington, don't love him there. New Orleans, I don't love him there. Because I think in those situations, he's going to get way, 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 way too much on-ball creation responsibilities. And I think it's going to be a disaster. We saw it this year at Rutgers when they tried to turn him into a point forward or a wing creator. And it was awful. Once they moved him into like purely an off-ball scorer, an off-ball creator, it was great. Things looked so much better. And then, the illness ran through the team and they all were on their deathbed. But without that lead established creator, I really, really, really worry about where he goes. And that's not to take away from his talent and the upside and his character. It's none of that stuff. It's just fit matters so much for some of these guys. And I worry that he might not end up at the right one.
See, I like the idea of him in Washington a little bit more because I'm just talking about like Coulibaly, all those, like you have pieces around him you can get excited about. They might have some vets on this roster that they're going to be like, we can't get like, and they might have Chris Middleton
just resigned. So, or extended or something.
He made a really important decision of, do you want 33 million or no? And he said, you know what? Yeah, I guess I'll take it. I'll pick that one up.
But that's another encouraging sign for Washington because not many better vets to learn from than Chris Middleton.
You got to get him to buy in on it, but he has 33 million reasons to do it. So I don't know. It gets tricky.
Yeah.
There's a lot of people in chat saying, hey, they might trade up. Blah, blah, blah might trade up. They might not have to.
Yeah.
Now, if I was Charlotte, I wanted to ask you this. If I was Charlotte, I would be ringing the dinner bell and I would say, who wants to come up and get your whoever you want? You can come up to 4 and get them. Well, you just got to pay the price. Pay it. But like they should be calling every single team and after them and being like, if you want to come up and get your guy, you just got to like, they should call Utah. They should just come get your guy. You got to lock him in. Because I think Charlotte wants VJ. And after that, I wonder. I think it's been reported Khan's the only one that's worked out for them.
Like they can't
because everyone else doesn't want to work out.
Yeah.
I like Khan there.
Even VJ. I don't know the validity of it, but I saw that he hasn't worked out for him.
I'm also going to put this to fans. You're also going to not find out about some workouts.
Oh yeah.
It
also for some guys and for some teams, the team's like, I don't care. We're taking you. There are a lot of guys who get picked and never worked out for a team.
There's guys that have worked out for teams further back that the agents literally don't want anyone to know. I know it for a fact. Like it's because the agents, we don't want it to find someone to find out, but because those teams might be eyeing trading up, but the agent's like, you better not let this get out because it's going to crush us. So I think there's secret workouts too that people have to realize, like not everything's publicly known, but My favorite is this week they try to sneak people in for like last second workouts. Like I feel like the Celtics used to do it all the time, and I was like, oh, you guys worked out a guy the day before the draft? That seems notable. So I don't know. What else do you think?
Let's get a little more positive.
Yeah, let's get positive here.
We can get back to the pessimism. But who are a couple guys who you think could get picked a little earlier and surprise people? Like, oh my god, they actually took that swing. The first couple for me.
Yeah, give me one that you think.
And the first two names are Kaman Malawach, who for some people it won't be a surprise at all, and Yegor Demon, who and it wouldn't totally shock me if both those guys go top 10. And Malawach will go top 10, but it's like, where?
Can I don't know how to probably Danny Wolf.
Oh, I like that.
He could go anywhere. I feel like we're in like.
Hey, I'm gonna have to interrupt you real quick. Have you seen your Twitter notifications?
Hold on, guys.
We're doing this
not on my personal, so I didn't get it.
So, breaking from Shams, the Boston Celtics have traded Drew Holiday to the Portland Trailblazers for Anthony Simons and 2 second-round picks.
Brad Stevens. You are an animal. I need to read this. I read a tweet from Greeny earlier, who's the Celtics guy I like. Brad Stevens every year makes a trade, like literally this week or every other year. It's hilarious. 2021, he made the Al Horford trade, June 18th. 22, no trade. 23, the Smart trade, June 23rd. Last year, no trade. Unbelievable. Simons, wow. I'm going to text Schmitz later and be like, thank you for doing business with the Celtics. So Portland's going to ship that. Portland's going to move that. Oh, there's going to be some picks.
So who's going to give up picks for Drew?
That's going to have to be some picks. That can't be. Oh, wait, that's it?
Yeah, that's it. That's it.
Can you give me some thoughts? I'm a little numb right now.
I'm honestly not entirely sure. I mean, I kind of love the swing for Boston to get Simons. The fact that they also got the 2 seconds for offloading salary is.
I think this is the greatest trade of all time. I love Drew, but like that contract, the moment he signed the extension, I was like, that's going to be a really bad one.
Yeah. But
my buddy's a diehard Portland Trailblazers fan. Just texted me, what the fuck? That's a bigger piece. That's starting something.
Yeah. That can't be it.
That can't be it. That is a piece to,
because everything we had heard is they love Simons. Like
I heard they loved Simons.
So they had to have had something. They have to have something in the works with a team that's like, hey, go get us Drew, and if you can get us Drew, we'll do this deal. Is that Phoenix?
I hope not for Drew. Okay. Well, anyways, let's talk here. Does Portland give Phoenix Drew and say, give us the pick? Give us a pick to take on Beal? Oh my gosh.
So like
the balls.
So like Drew for Beal and 10
would be the best trade ever.
And then maybe they use 10 and 11 to
go up to
6 or 7. Try and get Khan or Carter or
Khan's a great
because there's no way that they're taking on the salary for just while also giving up 2 seconds, and it's 2 future seconds, so whatever. But from just a value standpoint, that doesn't make sense.
Okay, I'm off the rails.
Yeah, we
I need 15
derailed.
beers. So can we finish the pot? I don't know what to think. Right, this is unbelievable. Wow. Please drink responsibly.
I'm trying to pull up Simon's contract.
Yeah, it doesn't. Is he expired? No.
Spotrac is down apparently.
Because every single person in Boston is trying to
do the exact same thing.
Everyone in Boston's doing the same.
Like,
I'm not kidding.
How much are we gonna have to pay him?
No, well,
come on, folks. Someone help me out here. Anyone in the chat getting access to it? You signed a 4-year, $100 million contract, average annual 25. Show me how many years are
expiring.
Left. It's expiring this year.
That's why.
Okay, so that's why. And Drew has 2 years left.
Yeah.
Okay, so Drew has this year and next year. Simon's is expiring, so it's either. So
I'm gonna let everybody know this is a move for the future. Yeah. This is let's see what you got. Let's see what we can. This is also Brad Stevens saying we're not going out. We're not going to tank, folks. We're going to be reloaded.
No, it's a great audition year.
It's a great audition.
How real is this guy? Because it's like, oh shit, if this works, they're going to lose. Now we have a new fun piece who. So
I think Drew is 3
for this year. And then you see if it works. If it works, it's like, all right, cool. You're under the tax, so you're not repeater, so you can go back over the following year if you re-sign them.
I really, really like this trade.
It makes a lot of sense
It makes a lot of sense. It also is just why
Boston. It makes a lot of sense for Portland only if they have something else lined up, because
the 2 seconds make no sense. Boston's gonna lose Cornette, so they have to get some pieces. And you just lost Tatum, so Stevens had 2 routes, and Brad Stevens was not going to tank. He was not going to blow this up. He was going to be like, no, we're going to find some pieces. This is why I believe Stevens was meant. He was born for the front office.
New ownership's like,
let's go hunt. Let's
get under the apron and tax, and don't have me paying $800 million in salary, but like, we're not going to be trash.
This trade can happen now and does have to wait until July 6th. I can't. That tweet is confusing. Can happen, and I don't know. I'm agreeing with you. Let's focus. I don't want to get too biased. He has to be shipped. Drew has to be going somewhere else. You're not going back to a team. It doesn't make sense for them unless Metcalf, there's your scoot guy. Unless there's your scoot mentor.
Oh, there's that. Yeah,
I don't think it is.
So. I don't think so.
It's too expensive.
Yeah, it's
get those. Expensive. You can get Malcolm Brogdon back if you want to get a mentor. Call Washington for Marcus Smart. So I don't know where he's going.
If we're thinking about first, because you have to match salary, and the only one that kind of makes sense is Beal. But again, he has a no trade clause, so is he going to waive his no trade to go to Portland? Why would he do that?
He's not. Let's get weird. He's not, unless they're saying we're going to trade you to Portland, and then you're going to get traded to another team.
But who? No one wants him. It can't be Phoenix. It can't be.
It can't be. It's the worst contract right now in sports.
It's
the worst contract. In this economy?
Is there? I don't know. There's got to be something though, and
I'm texting a Portland Connect while I'm on the air, and I'm like, I'm literally texting you while I'm recording a live pod Give me something.
He's like, I have more important people to talk to try to figure out something.
Yeah, he's like, easy, but give me what else. Well, I don't even know what this podcast was about anymore. I'm too excited about life. Oh, we were doing risers and fallers.
Yes.
So fallers or risers. We did risers.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I believe I mentioned, or what we said, Wolf, Malawach, Yegor.
Yeah.
Okay.
We were talking about Wolf, and then
Yes.
and then all of a sudden you were like, hold that thought.
Well, the chat started panicking, and Danny Wolf, good at basketball.
Danny Wolf, I have heard like we could start talking about him at 9, 10, 11, 12. I think realistically, like he could go 14 to 20s, but like I think no one's going to be surprised. But he's a wild card. What else? What else you got?
I'm discombobulated. I do think there are a couple more potential fallers that could be rough. A guy we both love. It won't shock me if Nick Clifford falls a bit.
I've heard OKC. I've heard Memphis really like him, but yes, that's another name. If he doesn't go certain spots,
I've also heard those teams. I've also heard that his workouts have been pretty meh. But he's the type of guy where it's like he's not a workout guy, and he's the type of guy who looks so much better in a game setting than an open gym necessarily. So take it with a grain of salt. But when you factor in the age and some lackluster workouts, apparently, it could be a couple, deciding factors between him and another guy. And like we talked about with Fierce, where it's just one choice and then you're tumbling down a couple spots. I think I would gladly take Neek in the middle of the first round. Wouldn't totally shock me if he falls a little bit along those same lines. Rasheer Fleming, where it wouldn't shock me if he goes late lottery or in the mid 20s.
I think Rasheer could go late teens or late first. Workout's been a little bit, or I feel like the pre-draft's been a little I'm sorry, folks. I'm trying to balance too, like Metcalf. I'm getting texts left and right. And I'm just like, I don't know. But let's focus here. Berenger, I feel like is another one. He could go all over from what I've heard.
I think you're getting a lot of national guys could surprise people. Ugo, Traore,
yes.
Berenger, Noah.
There's a lot of names connected to teams. I will say that. Like there's some hardcore like good buzz about players. But I've seen too many times where like you inch closer and all of a sudden another name starts to take the place. There was one that was buzzing to Miami like 2 days ago, and then I had talked to some scouts and they're like, I'm not buying it. Now there's another name. So it just is kind of like that. And it's going to be interesting moving forward because, I've seen a lot of guys on the internet like, hey, Vicini and KFC, like there is a wide range with a lot of these guys you talk to. Like one team is interested in 5 names and you're like, okay, let's scrap that. We know the names, but it doesn't really help us. So you're trying to kind of eliminate by, due process, but it's just going to be messy. It's what I've kept hearing is 9 to 14 is going to be a madhouse. And then the rest is going to be chaos.
24 is going to be.
Yeah. And then nuts.
Who knows?
It's just fun. Like you're starting to get buzzed about promises, and then you start to go like, okay, can we confirm the promise? So like I'm trying to see if it sticks somewhere else, but
it's like why am I getting the same team promising 8 different guys? It's like okay. And it's it's also like, all right, well, when did those promises happen? Did they happen around the combine when it was like, hey, you should stay in because we promise we'll take you? Or is it like tonight where they're like, hey, we're taking you? Or last week, it's like, we're going to take you shut your fucking workouts down. Two very different things.
Yeah, my favorite comment that I got was a week ago, and it was everyone's camp, every player's camp is convinced they're going to the Bulls. Like I heard 10 different people think they're going to the Bulls today. So it's so much smoke, and you hear promises, and then you talk to scouts, and they're like, "I'm not buying that." I've heard he's been promised to 8 teams. That's not happening. So it's so much smoke right now, and you're just trying to narrow it down. So it's going to be crazy, but there is some names that are trending up and trending the other way. But we also hear that, and then all of a sudden they go 6th, and you're like, "Oh, okay," because all it takes is one team.
A couple other guys who I think have pretty wide ranges of where they could go. Colin Murray-Boyles, top 7 won't shock me, but mid to late teens is probably his floor. That's what I've heard. Asa Newell, probably a gap of 10 to 12 picks. And then Jace Richardson, probably similar. I don't think he's going 10 to Phoenix.
No.
Because they're trading to Portland.
I texted my dad about the Celtics trade, and then he goes, "Too funny, I'm watching you on the pod right now with Metcalf." Shout out, Dad. That's amazing.
Well, give us some goddamn info so we can look competent up here. Anyone else for you? And then, the international guys. It wouldn't shock me if some of them go late lottery or mid-20s.
Yeah. I think Sorber's the wild card for me. I feel like maybe we're not expecting it at 12. I still think OKC's the name to watch out for. Hansen Yang, we get a lot of comments about Hansen Yang as is tradition. No first round, I don't think. But a team that has multiple picks is very interested. I will leave that tidbit. You might see something on our mock draft too. Metcalf, anything else?
So much else. But no, it's time. We got to finish it out. The most exclusive club in the NBA world, in the draft world. No more than 14 guys get in. It is the No Ceilings Green Room. No more than 14 get in. It is not our lottery rankings. This is not a mock draft. This is not a big board. This is just based on vibes, upside, potential, production, vibes, all that good stuff. Again, you can be admitted, you can be booted, you can sit in line forever, you can never get in, you can be in there from day one and never leave. So currently in there, we only have 13. I'll go 5 at a time. You can,
okay.
And we can just be like, hey, I put them in yellow.
Hey, or this is a big deal.
Yeah,
this is the biggest audience we've had and everyone's here for the green room. They're not here for the draft talk or the intel. They're here for the green room.
Obviously,
it's the vibes, folks. The vibes are off the charts right now. So I'm really pumped that everyone's here for the green room. Okay, go ahead, Metcalf.
Okay. And who knows? Maybe we'll circle back to some Celtics talk after. But currently in there, Cooper Flagg, Trey Johnson, Derek Queen, Dylan Harper, Kasper Siakashionis. We good?
I don't know.
Yeah, there's one I'd be willing to put in yellow.
I need to put Derek Queen in line.
Let's
revisit.
We'll put his name in yellow. We'll highlight him. We'll be like, okay. We'll circle back.
Okay. Eye in the sky. We got cameras pointed down on Derek Queen. We're watching him closely.
Yeah, like
because tonight we have no one in line after tonight. It's just
a couple of his friends might be packing up their stuff. They're like, man, it's getting late. I'm getting tired. It's like, all right, is he leaving with them? Is it?
Did he call for the tab? Has he called for the tab? Not yet. Okay.
Not yet.
Okay.
But
looking for the waitress.
A couple friends are like, hey, here's I might be heading out. Here's money. And it's like, all right, well, is he gonna dip out with them or is he sticking around? Rest of them, Ace Bailey, VJ Edgecombe, Kaman Malawach, Jeremiah Fierce, Con Knipple. Now, along that same line of logic, are the vibes with Ace Bailey that bad?
I don't know if the vibes could be worse. Now everyone, we have a couple of people in here that are like, hey, what's the green room? The green room is the green room. The NBA green room is a professional one. This is the club. This is the green room. And this is not just based on like where you're going to get drafted. We do this all year. This is a real serious thing with prestigious honor. So if
And it's
you're
not
in
about
line,
talent. It's not how good
it's
we think
not.
these guys are going to be. It's now about
It's
where they
about
get drafted.
vibes.
About vibes.
Last year, I think Bronny James was nominated to get in line, and you have to get in line, and then you have to get in. And
So,
we kicked Bronny out because he was in line, and we said, "Get out of here."
This year, Walter Clayton just strolled right in after they won that national championship because he was
but
I
you
run
get
this
cold.
shit.
Yeah, and no one's
some guys burn bright, have an incredible time, and then they head out. Others,
Tahad Pettiford was in for a week and was electric, and then all of a sudden he literally was like, "Hey, we got to kick him out." He had way too much fun in here.
His party bus stopped off at the club. He strolled in. They were going to the next spot. He headed out. Can't miss your ride.
Danny Wolf and Nick Clifford have been in line drinking Miller Lights for 5 weeks.
Asa Newell was in line for 6 months. Got in for like 2 weeks and then left. It happens.
All right. Okay. We explained
Bailey.
Ace Bailey, I think he's out.
Oh, just straight out.
I for someone I loved, the vibes could not be worse. You know what? I think Ace got his entourage, came into the club, pulled him out, and they're taking him to a different club.
They are.
And Ace is like, I'm having a great time here. All my friends are here. Why are we going somewhere else? And the guy's just like, you got to trust me on this one.
They were having such a great time. Ace, sad to see you go. All right. And then Cedric Howard, Carter Bryant, Noah Essengay.
They're in, yes?
Yes. That rounds it out. So we're at 12.
I think Noah's out. Or he's in yellow.
Okay.
Incredible comment. Incredible comment from And We Back. That was good. I was waiting for someone to pick up on it.
For the YouTube audience.
Yeah, YouTube can see that only.
Okay. So do we want to take a look at who's in line before we either kick out Noah
let's give me the line. How many total do we have in right now? We kick Queens in yellow.
We have 12. We have 12 in with 2 in yellow.
And 14 get in total. Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
No more.
All right. Give me the line.
Oh, boy, we went.
I'm beautiful. I know we mentioned like 20 because we're gonna figure this out. Give me the line. I'm beautiful minded ahead of me.
Danny Wolf, Nick Clifford, Maxime Reynaud, Yannick Konen Niederhauser, Hugo Gonzalez, Chaz Lanier, Asa Newell, Thomas Sorber, Jace Richardson, Walter Clayton, Johan Berenger, Drake Powell, Rasheer Fleming, Sion James, Ryan Nemhard, Colin Murray Boyles.
Sion James, what a shout out. All right, give me one. What are you thinking? Reynaud for me, gone.
Okay. I'm going to say Niederhauser gone.
He is hot right now, but Niederhauser's gone. I think Niederhauser's like, you know what? This isn't my type. This is.
He was hotter at the combine.
Yeah, he was hotter at the combine, so he's faded. He reached his peak, and he's like, you know what?
He was like,
might go home and watch a movie.
Yeah.
It's fine.
Drake Powell.
You know, I take it back. Niederhauser might be a guy he's a dive bar guy. I think he's going to the dive bar that's just like, wait, you went where? You were out till 4? Drake Powell gone.
He's at the rave down the street.
Yeah, the rave. That's a good one. That's a good one. Niederhauser is at a rave for sure.
Sion James gone.
I think Sion James just went to like a UFC bar. Yeah, or a dive bar guy. Yeah. He doesn't look like a guy that's comfortable just hanging out in a club. He looks like he's like, no, I need some life around here. Let's go. Yeah, Sion gone. What else?
I think Berenger replaces Noah.
I think Berenger's in for Noah. Noah's like a starting pitcher that just got tired real quick, and the coach is going, hey, we're going to the bullpen. We're bringing in Berenger. We're getting tough now because Danny Wolf and Nick Clifford have been in line and they've been soldiers and they have not. They're not leaving. They refuse to get out of the line.
I think Danny's earned it. I think Danny's in.
We're gonna get angry now. We're gonna start fighting, huh? This is what happens, people. Me and Metcalf start fighting.
We can circle back.
No, Danny's in. Okay. Danny's been drinking Miller Lights in the last 2 months, waiting to get into the green room. Okay, give me the rest of the line. Rasheer's in line.
So Neek, Ugo, Lanier, Asa Newell, Thomas Sorber, Jace Richardson, Walter Clayton, Rasheer Fleming, Ryan Nemhard, Colin Murray Boyles.
This is getting really tough. I think Ugo's gone.
I would agree. Was hoping for some last minute buzz with him, and it's there's some fans, but it's been a little quiet.
I'm fascinated to see where he goes.
I think Fleming's gone.
I think Fleming's gone. Really like him. Good guy.
Okay.
But he's gone. Came too late. Showed up too late.
I think Jace is gone.
I think Jace is gone too. I'm so far I'm agreeing with everything.
Okay.
I think Jace is like, hey man, there's plenty of places around here. We'll try next week. Good guy. Wasn't a bad person in line. He's just like, I'll try.
No, and he got in earlier. So
is Carter in?
Who's in? Carter's in. I'm gonna say Asa's gone. I think
Asa Newell was our first. He's in line. He's in. He's out. He's in line. He's out. I think we went full circle.
I think he's back in line. He's like, why am I wasting my time in this fucking spot again?
I think he said, wait a second. We've tried to get in here before.
Yeah.
The place down the street is awesome. What are we doing? Why did we leave that place?
Met up with that forced him to leave, and they were like, oh no, we'll just get back in. It's not gonna be an issue. He's like, it's a pain in the ass to get into. Like, what are we doing? Like, I told you guys, let's go hang out.
You know what I think Asa did? I think he went, this is a veteran move. He probably was having a great time down the street. Was like, you know what, I'm gonna go out and get some food, maybe get one of those street hot dogs, wait in the green room line.
Come out and grab us. Well, we're down here at the spot. And it's like, no, you don't get to just walk back in like that.
Yeah, he's eating and he's like, well, I'll just wait in line while I'm eating. Maybe I get in. And then now he's like, you know what? Let's just go back. So it's okay. Ace is gone. Really like him. Really excited.
I'm going to say CMB's gone.
This is a tough one.
So we only have one open spot.
Who's in again? I don't know if we have a bully inside. Everyone needs a bully.
Do they?
Yeah, sometimes you need a guy that's like, hey, if we ever throw down, we need some guy that sets the tone.
Trey will start something.
Yeah, but Trey's a dog, but we also need an actual like bully. Colin Murray Boyle's big man.
Yeah.
Is Sorber in?
He's not. He's in line.
Mm-hmm.
I think he might need to replace a certain other big.
You have my attention. You had my curiosity. Now you have my attention.
All right. Thomas Sorber. Welcome. Derek Queen. Enjoy your night. Objections?
No, I think the vibes couldn't be higher right now. I think the green room's just, insert best song to vibe to.
Sorber's foot is healthy, right, folks. Medicals are green flags ahead.
I've been told, I'm really hoping I don't jinx this, but I was told this is one of the cleanest medical draft classes in a long time, which is so awesome because I hate
injuries suck.
Hate the red flag city that just crushes someone's stock in 24 hours. So it's really, really cool. I've heard that. Hoping it sticks but I had asked about Sorber and got a green light and I was like, yes, let's go. So, Thomas Sorber, welcome to the damn green room. You should have been here. The prodigal son.
One spot left.
Unbelievable.
In line, we have Neek, Chaz, Walter Clayton, Ryan Nemhard, Colin Murray Boyles.
Gonna come down to two guys I really like,
and there's, just to be clear, there's no one else that's not even in line. Okay, I'm just no Appenda crash in the party. Sorry. Okay, so
strangle my laptop and imagine.
So in line, Neek Clifford, Chaz Lanier, Walter Clayton, Ryan Nemhard, Colin Murray Boyles. I think the last two have to go.
I think I might burn down the green room if Neek Clifford does. No, I'm serious. Is Neek the oldest person that would get in, or that would be Lanier? We got a comment about Chaz Lanier. Chaz is, I think, kicking some ass in workouts is what we've heard.
Not totally shocking given his play style.
No, but it's also just, I think that will get some attention. So yeah, there's a little bit of buzz. I don't know if I'll buy in it because there's a lot of names
I don't think first round buzz, but I wouldn't necessarily lean first round, but
it wouldn't shock me if maybe the team trades
like top 40 makes
a
lot of sense.
I still think
or someone trades with Brooklyn to get one of those picks or something. Okay. So Neek, Chaz, Walter. 3 of the oldest dudes in this draft.
Do we have anyone old in the green room besides Danny Wolf? Danny Wolf's like actually not that young.
No, he is not. No, the rest.
We have a bunch of babies.
We have Coward.
So we need another adult in the room.
Well, yeah, which is all 3 of these guys.
My favorite saying, Albert. Shout out Albert. We need an adult in the room. Yeah, this is tough. So we're going about for upperclassmen right now. What are your thoughts? What's going on the line?
I mean, Walter Clayton was just one of the most fun players in the country this year. I love Neek. I adore Neek. I have Neek a lot higher than Clayton, but if we're going vibes.
Is the vibes with Walter still high?
That's the thing.
Are we riding the highs from 3 months ago? This is serious stuff, folks. We take this to heart. I want Neek in really bad, but I'm also trying to be not biased.
What are the highs with Neek right now?
He's perfect.
He completes me.
He's the best. Are you kidding me?
I'm just gonna put Chaz Lanier in while we talk, and then he's gonna get booted once. I just think he needs to sniff the inside.
Okay, so he's earned it. He's earned it. He's worked hard.
He caught the bouncer looking the other way, and they're gonna turn back, and he's gonna be gone. They're like, "Where is he?" And then they're gonna yank him out and send him on his way. But
so it's down to Walter Clayton or Neek Clifford.
Yeah,
Hollywood can't write a script like this, folks.
Or do they both get in and someone else leaves?
You're talking my language. Give me the green room again.
Cooper Flagg, Trey Johnson, Thomas Sorber, Dylan Harper, Kasper Siakashonis.
Get Flagg out of there. No, I'm kidding. Keep going.
A lot of red flags with him. Kidding. VJ, Edgecombe, Kaman Malawach, Jeremiah Fears, Con Knipple, Cedric Coward.
I will say, little intel. I've heard the Coward buzz has cooled a little bit. So I think those mocks where people were thinking like, oh, he could be on the board at 10, or he could be coming off the board at 10, 11. I'm not sure I'm there. I don't think that. I think he could still be a late lotto, early teens guy. So that's all I'm hearing.
There.
I would still take him pretty early.
Then Carter Bryant, Johan Berenger, Danny Wolf, Chaz Lanier.
An incredible trio.
Does Berenger get kicked?
Sort of feel like it.
It feels that way.
So Berenger, we can do Berenger. Oh gosh, the international crowd's just gonna ruin us. We can do Berenger for Neek Clifford and Walter Clayton.
Yeah.
I think that's. I think I'll do that.
Okay.
I think Berenger got in and it's like, this isn't me.
Yes, I don't like any of this. Okay.
I think he's just too excited to be like moving around. He's like, this isn't me. Let's just keep going places.
Okay. So final green room. Cooper Flagg, Trey Johnson, Thomas Sorber, Dylan Harper, Kaspers Yakashonis, VJ Edgecombe, Kaman Malawach, Jeremiah Fears, Con Knippel, Cedric Howard, Carter Bryant, Nick Clifford, Danny Wolf, Walter Clayton.
It sounds right.
It feels right. I think we got there.
And now people are going to be like, oh, it's just like the Green. No, that's a better one. Better. It's only 14 names. We never go above 14.
Yeah, we're not half the draft.
Be good.
Cool. All right. We went so much longer than we wanted to or intended to, but shout out the Boston Celtics and Portland Trailblazers for inserting a bit of chaos into this. This was a fun one. We got so much coming this week. Brand new big board dropping Tuesday morning. Our predictive mock draft, which will be our last one, obviously, on Wednesday morning. We'll have some intel and stuff in there. Also, Wednesday morning, we'll be doing some sort of Q&A live stream, either Twitter Spaces or on here. So keep an eye out for that and come ask questions, come hang out day before the draft. On the both Wednesday and Thursday, we will be going live at 7:30 Eastern, half hour before the draft officially starts. We'll be going live doing preview coverage, recapping. We'll have best availables out on the site at NoCeilingsNBA.com. We'll have draft grades, reactions, likes, dislikes, all that good stuff. Top UDFA guys to keep an eye on, or guys you should want your team to target coming out next week. And so much more throughout the summer. We have a ton of videos up at the No Ceilings YouTube channel. Go check those out. Subscribe while you're there. Make sure you don't miss anything that's coming. Hell of a week. Chaos is barely beginning. Shout out to everyone in the chat. You guys rock. Really funny stuff today. But he is Tyler Rucker. You can follow him at Tyler_Rucker. I'm Tyler Metcalf. You can follow me at TMetcalf11. If you enjoyed this episode, please make sure to rate, review, subscribe, all that good stuff. Until next time, see ya.